tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's going on, AfterBuzz? Welcome to How to Be Your Host. I'm your host, Olivea Gabaree, and I've got Jimmy V with me tonight.
Hey, what's going on, people? What's up?
AKA Be Your Own Dad.
Yes, that is the tag. Twitter, Instagram. Go follow the boy, you know?
So, listen, something that I love talking about on this show is creating your own opportunity. Because a lot of hosts now, with the internet, there's endless opportunities, but for yourself. There's not always like that exact network job that you want, that exact even digital content job that you want.
Yeah.
So you essentially just did just that. You started your own blog, and basically it's like a brand now.
Yes, yeah.
Be Your Own Dad.
Right. Shout out to BYOD fam. I started the blog back in 2013, 2014 when I first came to California. So I've been documenting my whole journey of going from Boston to Cali, of course. So shout out to Boston.
So what came first? Did you want to be a host and then you created Be Your Own Dad, or you created that and discovered that hosting was an avenue that you could take?
So I first came out to California before actually moving, and I took a class that a lot of people out here have taken as well, and that whole class was all about building your audience up. So I knew I always wanted to be a host, but I knew I needed my audience there to do it my way. Because I'm just a normal person. They're not going to hire me off the street. So
Right. And so it was a hosting class, right?
That's right, yep.
Okay, so then obviously things evolve over time. Be Your Own Dad wasn't as, vast as it is now.
No,
What did it start off? What did it start off as?
Okay, so it started off just as a simple blog where I would post ideas that I want to do.
Okay.
And I remember I used to check the stats every day, which I do not suggest this to anybody, but I used to check the stats to see how much people are reading a post. Only one person. Oh my gosh, I used to get so down, but I just always kept in mind, just one post at a time, I'll ultimately be able to build a audience within it. So I would always, talk about trending topics, ideas that I have, sports. I'm a big rap guy, hip hop. So I'll just talk about different topics there, and after a while, I began to get a response.
So it sounds like you were covering many different topics. Was there a time where you felt like you had to narrow it down a little? Because I hear mixed things. A lot of people are very niche oriented, and some people are more of do what you know. Right,
yes, exactly. Like, I know, for example, whenever I talk about football, because I'm a huge football fan, I don't get as much clicks or readers, which tells me the audience that I have, they're not football fans. But I know, because I'm stubborn, this is my blog. I'm going to write what I want. So if you guys like it, great. If not, then just don't check it that day. So then on the...
Just pretend it's not happening.
Really. So on the flip side, I would look at my response on my blog post and see, okay, which posts that I am doing get a good amount of clicks. So based on those posts, I would do more of that topic.
Okay, so I think that's a major key right there, is always knowing your audience and knowing who you're talking to. Because then that would tailor the conversation, the content a little bit more. So aside from that, do you have any other consistencies that you like to follow in order to keep growing?
Definitely just being consistent with the actual blog itself. Maybe you don't know what to talk about for that day. I like to share a little bit about my personal life, because that's one thing that I think about when I looked up to a few of my favorite people, Jay-Z, Diddy, examples. I would just want to know everything about them, So in a way, I got to put myself in that light, not saying I'm on that level, but it's like, okay, if somebody's watching me or reading my blog post every day, let me share a little something else about them so I kind of bring it down to a one-on-one
Yeah.
type feel. I'm not the blogger at that point. I'm just Jimmy V.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it feels like when you bring a personal like level to it, it's easier for people to keep a conversation, I guess.
Definitely, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it started off as blog posts, it sounds like. I mean, but now you have an online store. You have your own vlog and a show, Straight Topics, an interview series.
Thank you.
How did it evolve to that point?
Right. So I'll say the vlog aspect of it really came from the blog first, because like I said, I've been documenting my journey ever since being in California, which just hit 3 years in September.
Dang.
So it's crazy how time flies by, right?
That's right.
So what I wanted to do was everybody on my Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, they'd be like, man, I love your post, you know, you in Cali, you got the sun, you got the pool and all that.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, instead of writing about it and only keeping it on Snapchat and Instagram, let me make a vlog.
You could
about
show
it.
them.
And I'm a huge fan of Gary V. Do you know who Gary
Oh my gosh,
Vaynerchuk
I'm
is?
listening to his
Every single
crushing
day.
it right now.
Crushing. I just got done reading the book, which is a
Okay.
fantastic book.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Gary always preaches about is we will be in a day where celebrities aren't as that high up, and the daily person, people will stop their life just to watch that person.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm thinking I think I do some cool stuff out here. Why not record myself doing it and sharing that?
100%. And something that I learned from Gary, as I'm sure you do, is you just have to be consistent and keep going. At
Got
first,
to.
probably like no one's going to be watching you, and you're going to grow over time, but you just have to put that work in. It's not going to happen overnight.
Got to put in the work.
Not even going to happen probably over a year. Like,
True.
it's going to take time. So for you, I mean, Be Your Own Dad wasn't popping off right from the start. What's something that kept you motivated and kept you wanting to make content?
Because I'm a student of the game. That's one, you know. So being a hip hop fan, if you want to be the greats, you have to study the greats, you know. So I would always look at works of Charlemagne the God. I would always look at, I even read Terrence J's book, you know, a lot of just people inside my field that are already doing it. And everybody says the same thing.
Exactly.
It took 5 years, it took 10 years, it took over and over, you know. You would think a post or a project's dope, you put it out, you don't get a good response, and it's like, wow, I put all my energy into it.
No, you can't think like that.
You can't. You got to drop it, move on to the next one. But I always want to say, drop it and learn from it.
And
Why
grow
didn't
from
it
that.
pop off? You know,
Exactly.
was it the angle? Was it the lighting? Was it the talking? Was it the guests? There's so many different things that you can learn from each post that it'll just get better and better over time.
Yeah. And so now you have your own show, Straight Topics. It's an interview series.
Yes, interview series.
So, I mean, aside from it being, of course, you're on camera hosting, but you're also producing the entire thing.
I definitely
So
am.
you have your own set. Is
What?
that a green
It's
screen?
crazy. Yo, I have a green screen, and the whole crazy part about it, when I first moved to California, I stayed in a studio. OG. I stayed in the
Really?
studio.
Like you
My
lived in a studio.
My futon was on the left side. My mom's futon was on the right
No
side.
way.
So we were like 5 feet away from each other. I couldn't bring home any girls. It's like the struggle was real, right?
Oh!
So when we finally moved into a more better comfortable situation, of course, I was able to turn my room into my own studio, which has a green screen. I started off with the smallest lights. Now I've got 3 to 4 lights. I've got mics and stuff, so I feel it's a journey, you know.
I feel you. Like, I call it my Amazon studio because it's like I just bought all the cheap stuff off Amazon, but that's what you can.
That's what you do.
That's
like,
the importance of knowing that you have to make your own content, because if things are this accessible to just any common person, like why aren't you taking advantage of it?
and just to give a quick side story, the way I got my kit of my lights and my green screen was from some lady who posted in hosts in LA group.
Really?
She said she wasn't using it anymore, and she was selling it for cheap for like, I don't know, no more than $100, I believe.
It's pretty good.
So, I was just thinking she's just not inspired enough, and she's giving it up. She probably
So let me profit off
bought
of
it
this.
for like $300. Now she's selling it for $100. I'm coming up no matter what. I'll take that off your hands and do my own thing. So
I think the best part about putting the whole entire production on yourself is like learning through trial and error. I don't know about you, but like sometimes I'd be like fixing lights for a half hour. I'm like, what can I do? But the thing is, the internet is such a good tool now. Like you just have to be self-taught.
It doesn't have to be perfect too. Right, you would think I need the top of the line lights. I need the top of the line camera. You would come to find out a lot of I'll say teenagers at this point, or even college kids, they've grown their large audiences based off their smallest things, which could be their phone, right?
Yeah.
And the quality's not all that good. The lighting isn't all that good, but they still have that audience there. So what does that tell you? It's not about the stuff that they use, it's the stuff they're putting out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be perfect.
I think that's the biggest misconception is like, oh, I can't start until I get this camera. Oh, I can't start until I get these mics. And it's like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
I feel like if there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, it's definitely a trial and error type thing. So in making all this content, creating your own set, doing your own blog, are there things that you had to overcome in order to keep going? Like, what are some of the hardest, you know, things that you've encountered?
Okay, so definitely being around the right people, because you can get distracted easily out here, you know. So especially when I first got here, I was caught up in, all right, I want to be out, want to be seen. I was at the club Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I was talking to people that I don't need to talk to you because you're not helping me build what I need to build.
Yeah.
So it's really a matter of discipline between, okay, I'm going to decide to shoot something compared to stepping out and hitting the club.
Yep.
So once I was able to separate myself, which you'll start to hear people talking, oh, you not hanging us, you not hanging out anymore, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that I don't want to hang out. It's a priority that I do what I came here to do first. Because before I came here, I didn't really know you anyway. So you're messing up the flow. You know what I'm saying?
So aside from keeping yourself around the right people to keep you motivated, you know, what are some other challenges that you face? Like, are there certain ideas or projects that you kind of had to leave behind in order to morph into what you're at now?
Yes, I'm the type of person, if I start something, I want to finish it. But I know now I've started a few things. Like example, I've got a few things planned for BYOD. I've got this whole idea of creating what's the word I'm looking for? Colleges have a curriculum. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't see you, but we are here though. So I've got a BYOD curriculum where it's short skits of things that they don't teach you in school.
Oh, like what?
How to open up a bank account.
How to write a check.
How to maintain a bank account. The simple things of life
that we did not learn in school.
And it's crazy, right? So I'm thinking, why don't I create a type of program where I can one day teach the youth coming up? So that's coming soon. But to go back to your question, I've started that and I can't complete it yet because I know I'm not at the production level yet wise that I want it to be at.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna drop it and just, okay, that was that.
You
boom.
want it to be 100.
It's got to be 100% the best of my work because I know it's something that will live on and can teach for generations to come.
So when creating your brand, did you always think of it as an educational
Definitely.
type of thing?
Just because be your own dad, it came from my own experiences of growing up without a dad.
Okay.
So, and if you've ever grown up without a dad is supposed to teach you how to mow the grass. A dad is supposed to teach you how to do this and that. Without him there, I had to learn on my own or through the help of my brothers.
Yeah.
Right? So I always think of the kid that's in the ghetto that doesn't have anybody. So then who is he gonna turn to learn all of this stuff here?
Yeah.
So.
And plus, that's in creating your own content, right? You want to offer the audience something. It's like, what could their takeaway be? And you have educational value, so that's something that's huge.
Yes.
Do you feel like that independence growing up has contributed to like your work ethic and drive now?
Definitely. One, I come from a Haitian household, so sakpa say to all my zos. But one thing about coming up in a Haitian household, especially from a single mother of three, she always worked. No excuses on the table. Like she said, I got 3 boys at home. I gotta work. So she worked 2 to 3 jobs at a time.
Wow.
So just watching that, it's like, all right, me waking up, I'm saying I don't want to do something. That's not a good enough excuse because my mom had no excuse.
Yeah, you just have to keep it moving.
Just gotta keep it pushing.
Well, I'm motivated. I like looking at when I was looking through all your stuff, I was like, damn, I'm impressed. Like, it's really hard to, I don't know, maintain all this stuff. Like, and one more question I want to ask you, because personally, I don't even know, like, how do you keep all of your like avenues consistent? Like, how do you make sure to write? How do you make sure to shoot? Do you keep a schedule? Do you have like a regimen?
Well, I'm working on a schedule, but it's literally every day wake up, I gotta do at least one thing. I gotta at least
Do you schedule
write.
in advance, like on Mondays I'm gonna shoot, on Tuesdays I'm gonna write, on Wednesdays
So when I filmed the season 1 of Straight Topics, which I just dropped I just dropped the season finale today, so go to beyourowndad.blogspot.com and go check that. But when I was filming the season 1, I knew every guest would have different time slots and everything.
Okay.
So I made sure I planned those ahead of time to make sure I can get everybody advanced. And one thing that I did as well, before this year, I would make microwave content, which is I film it that day, edit it that night, drop it next day.
And is that good to do?
I've learned that I don't think it's good. And here's why. If you want to consistently drop something, you got to always consistently film.
Okay.
Or if you sit down, film something for a whole month or so. Hold on to that content and say, I'm going to drop 1 episode per week for the next 8 weeks. But now you have all the content ready because you sat down and you filmed for a whole month. So then now when it comes to drop it, just be like, Monday I'm dropping a new episode. Boom.
So you make it in advance
That's
so you
right.
can just have it on a schedule.
That's right, yeah.
Because consistency
is key.
And how do you determine who's a good guest for your Straight Topics?
As long as you're bringing something of value, which shout out to Gary Vee, of course, because he always says deal with people that bring value into what you are trying to do. So my most recent guest was one of my college friends, and he started his brand 4 years ago. So I've been able to watch him from afar build up his brand, which is merchandise.
Okay.
Shout out to Free Thinkers. And he sold shirts and all that stuff. So when I had him come on the show, I had him share a few tips that he wished he knew when he first started. How do you do the shirts, blah, blah, blah. And I don't ask around the question. I'm like, okay, somebody watching wants to start their own brand. How did you do it, So they're sharing that information there, which is going to ultimately help my audience out, but it's going to help me out as I went to start my own merchandise line as well, and I was able to use what he said to put that into my repertoire.
Yeah, see, that's exactly like how to be a host. We're giving people the tools on how to be a host.
That's what it is.
All right, so I'm on beyourowndad.com. I can learn how to start my own brand. What are some other things that I can learn from Straight Topics real quick?
Oh, straight topics. How to become a dancer, how to start your own fitness brand, how to be a artiste, comics. One of them, All Deaf Digital, Craig Smith dropped by. He shares how he got into comedy. Who else? Oh, Dominique, how he started his own drone business.
Wow.
Different guests, they give you all different types of topics. BeYourOwnDad.blogspot.com. I'm telling you, go check that out.
And where can everybody find you on social media?
At Be Your Own Dad. That is the place where you can find me. Twitter and Instagram. I feel like you're ending out the interview.
Yeah, I'm about to wrap it up.
Okay, let me plug in one more thing because I got to.
Let's hear it.
I'm kind of going through a rebranding phase, but I've got my Building My Empire hats.
Oh, yes. Where can we get the merch?
Yes, BeYourOwnDad.com/store. But I've got my new website, which is being worked out. We just launched it recently, but I'm tweaking things. But it's BMEofficial.com. So that is going to be another level of just sharing tips and tricks, and I've also got episodes of Straight Topics on Building My Empire, and that is all about how to build your empire as I'm building my empire. So you holler at me so we can build together. Oh, you feel me?
We
You're
really
picking up what
are
I'm
on
putting
the
down.
same wave.
Yeah, we've been vibing the whole day.
So BME BuildingMyEmpire.com.
BMEofficial.com.
Oh, official.
Yes.
Excuse me.
And shout out my business partner too. This time I did BYOD all on me. This time I have a business partner, and it's about to be a whole
Collaboration,
different
baby.
game. Y'all ain't ready.
Well, I'm happy that you stopped by because I learned
you.
so much. I know everybody else did.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate
I'll be looking out for the drop.
Of course.
And again, guys, I'm your host, Olivea Gabaree, aka The Real OG. You guys can hit me up on everything at TheReal_O_G, and I will see ya next Thursday.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.